Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wiley, and I run a business called Wiley Partners. I am officially a buyer's agent, which is great. Because when I first got here in 2017, I recognized the need for buyer's agents, and I decided to fulfill the need. So here I am as an American Swedish American in Cascais, and working to serve you as a buyer's agent.
Hey Wiley, we've decided to work together. What now? What's the process?
Hey, so cool. We're working together. Engaging a buyer's agent is such a great idea. And I personally am pretty excited about working together with you. So, what now? What's the process? We're going to get together on the phone. We're going to do a series of questions. And as soon as I have all those answered, then I'll be able to start your search. And that's basically, unlike a lot of places here, the search is I'm going to look on Idealista and like four others, and they're the exact same type of information that I'm going to get is what you're going to get. So unfortunately, I don't have any rabbits I'm going to pull out of a hat. Unless I have the opportunity to, which I do sometimes, is to call some of my partners who might have some off-market listings, and I might have some off-market listings. And so I'll also scan those before I get back in touch with you about the showings. But when you do engage me, we're going to find out how quickly you need this done. You're coming in 2 months, you're going to come in 6 months. And that'll kind of gauge where we are with the showings and the schedules.
What are your responsibilities as my agent, and what are my responsibilities as your client?
Mm. Your responsibilities as my client are there's a couple things I need from you. Number one, your loyalty. Because if you've engaged me and three others, remember we're all fishing from the same pond. So we're all going to start fighting over who sent you the listing first, and it's not that interesting. So if we're going to work together, I would love your loyalty. And that even goes so far as to say that, for example, when you're on Idealista and there's that little box in the corner that says, "Do you want more information?" If you write to them and ask for more information, you've somehow signed up to be their client. And I know you don't know you're doing that, but that's what you do if you look at the fine print. So if you write to them and say, "Send me a brochure, send me more information, let me know what's going on," and let's say that's JLL, and then you come here and I've got a JLL listing that I want to show you, and I call JLL, they're like, "No, no, no, no. The people you're registering now, those are our clients. You don't get to show the house to them. Those are our clients." And you'll have never met them. So your loyalty. Number two is I need you to get your NIF numbers if you don't already have them. I can't really move forward with a rental or with a purchase if you don't have a NIF number. Now you can have a NIF number, which is like a social security number. You can have that number as a non-tax resident or as a tax resident, and it doesn't matter until you use it. My son came here to go to university, got a NIF number, lives in Sweden, will never use it again, barely used it when he got here, but he had to have it in order to be enrolled in the university. So get a NIF number. If you can't get one, because if you walk in off the street, you have to make an appointment. They're free. But if you can't get one on another way, call me. Let me know that you don't have a NIF, and then I will set you up with a lawyer that I have who has a relatively low flat fee to get your NIF numbers, and you should be able to get it within 5 or 7 business days. That's number two. Loyalty, NIF number. And number three would be that as you find listings, if you are engaged and you want to find listings, send them to me and partner with me on figuring out exactly what it is. Because until I know your vibe, it's going to be hard for me to find the right listing for you. So if you initially send me, "These are some we've saved in our favorites, these are some we like," then I'll know, I'll have a better starting point on what that is. So loyalty, NIF number, and partner with me on sending listings back and forth, and even suggesting different houses. And I'll let you know about the neighborhoods, and I'll let you know what I think about
Does it change depending on where we are local?
where you live now. Does it change on how we work together? Not necessarily. Time frames would be the same. I just need to know when you're coming, and I need to know what your if you need to be close to a school because your kids are going to school there. So, for example, if you're coming from France and your kids are going to the French school, there's only a French school right now in Lisbon. So it's important to know those types of things, obviously, but not necessarily unless there's some tax rules or regulations from where you're coming from. It doesn't change how you and I work together.
Walk me through the process, point for point, on what happens when we give our down payment.
Okay. So we found a house and we're excited about purchasing the house. And now we're going to go through the down payment phase. So one of the first things I would do is after we have our offer accepted, so all we do here is write on a piece of paper my name, what I want. So I'll say that your name is John Doe and you are hoping to purchase their house. We need to give them what we want to pay for it, when we want to pay our down payment, when we want to close, and how we're going to pay for it. That's all they need to know from us. And then they'll either accept it or they'll counter. And so initially, it's a very simple process. And you should know something. It doesn't cost anything to put in an offer, and it's not binding. So the cool thing about it is that even if you put in an offer on house A and then 2 days and they haven't responded, and a day later we see house B and you like it more, it's okay. That offer wasn't binding. So it's okay to give offers and not worry about whether they're binding. And also sometimes it's the only way for us to test what the real price of this house is. At what point are they really going to start to bend? And that's really good information for us. So that is the offer process. When you put in an offer, and then now they've accepted from, let's say they say yes to our offer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and send an inspection team. A lot of people don't do this, but better safe than sorry. Like unless somebody bought it like a month ago and then for some reason had to leave the country and they had an inspection. But other than that, 99% of the time we're throwing in an inspection team. Here in the States, very often your offer will be contingent on the inspection. I like to make my offers contingent on the inspection as well. So it always gives us an out clause. So we send an inspection team. We're still happy. Yay. And then we get all the legal documentation and send it over to the lawyers. From here on in, the lawyers are going to do their dance. So the seller's lawyer and the buyer's lawyer, your lawyer, will start to talk to each other. And what I say in my offer is, we will give you the down payment when both of our lawyers are on the same page. Because sometimes I've been in a scenario where my lawyer's like, we're ready to go, and the other lawyer's like, no, we're not. So we need to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And so those are the things that we're going to find out when we put in the offer and when we start passing the paperwork back and forth. Only once or twice has it happened that the paperwork is so bad and the house is so bad in the inspection that we do walk away. But it doesn't happen that often because most of the things we can get through. So that's kind of the beginning process of what happens when we put in an offer. And then the lawyers once again take over. And then the rest of it's up to them. And when they say we're ready to go, then we give a down payment. This usually happens in the lawyer's office, usually your lawyer's office. And lawyers are also notaries. So we go to the office, we sit on our side, the seller sit on their side. It's probably one of the first times we've met, which is really nice. And then we go through point for point what it says in the down payment document, which is called a CPCV. And if everybody's happy, then you either slide your 20% across the table in a check, or you do an electronic payment. And for that, you have up to 5 business days to pay for your down payment. And after that, we're kind of on hold because all the due diligence has really been done. Most people, the waiting time between the down payment and the closing is simply because they're either looking for money to pay for the rest of it or the mortgage guys are coming in to do their dance. So that's what happens when you put in an offer.
Can you give me an idea of what taxes would be on a property?
I can give you an idea, but it's subjected to every property is really different. Needless to say, we have high transfer fees here. So when you're at deed, and we'll go through those transfer fees, those are high, but it's one time. And the beauty of it is that our property taxes here are so low that it kind of offsets the expense of that one-time transfer fee. So I'm in a process right now with an apartment, and the apartment cost €1,575,000, so €1,575,000. It was built in 2017. And it's approximately, including the garage and the storage areas and the terraces and the house, because that's kind of an external and internal. So they're really two different numbers, but for this purpose, it's going to put together about 260 square meters. That property tax on that apartment in downtown Cascais was under €900 for the year. And what they do is they send you 3 bills. So, for example, like you'll get one in May, and then you'll get another one in August, then you'll get another one in December. And so you'll make 3 payments of 300, for example, for your property taxes. So really, really low. I've seen large estates where there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of acres of land, vineyards, where the total property taxes are like 75 euros a year. So do not be worried about property taxes here. They will never get anywhere close to your property taxes in the States. And for the most part, they're really inexpensive. So I hope that answers the questions that were asked of me today. And the original thought was we would take you from introduction to down payment, which we've done that. Please feel free on the comment section to write in any other questions that you have, or you can just contact me. My information is linked here below, and pose any more specific questions if you feel like it. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again.